So I hope everybody had a wonderful new year, that you had an opportunity to celebrate in some way. That might mean just having a cozy night in and not worrying about all the stress and hassle of getting to parties or driving anywhere, just enjoying, maybe thinking back about how the year went for you, planning for the new year. This is the thing, is that really January 1st comes and it's not really like a whole thing has changed. It's just the next day. And yet we have opportunity to find something new and to have some new plans, new fresh ambitions, ideas, goals, motivations. So starting today with our opportunity to move together, to welcome in 2023, and just to kind of reaffirm what we want to do and how we want to feel in our bodies this year. Supple, healthy, strong. So thank you for joining me. Let's start standing up. Let's find our feet hip width apart. Taking a moment here to balance and center our body. So that's a really big theme that we work with in Pilates, centering, right? Finding your center. And not only your physical center of your core, but also this idea of a center line up the middle of the body and the center line between front and back. So I want you to feel that you've got that lift coming right up from the center. You can feel both feet are grounded and steady, and that there's a sense of lifting up from the body, from the core, and all the way out through the top of the head. So just take a moment to feel that sense of centering. I'd like you to open your shoulders onto your back, turn your palms open, and just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling the low abdominals pull in as you exhale. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Like you're blowing through a straw. Pursed lips to help gently press all the air out. One more time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Open your eyes. Good. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down 3 times. Inhale up, back, and down. Again, inhale up, back, and down. Go the other way. Inhale, circle forward. Breathing in. One more time. Good. And then shrug your shoulders up high. Let them lift. As you exhale, release that down. And again, inhale. Shrug your shoulders up high. Exhale. Release them down. One more time. And exhale, release them down. Beautiful. We're going to take one arm up and over, side bending, allowing the body to open into this side. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, come all the way up. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, over to your second side. Again, breathe into the side body. And exhale to return. Let's do it one more time each way. In breath up. Exhale over. Full breath in. Exhale to return. One more time this way. Big breath in. Feel that lift as you exhale to the side, opening up through the side waist. Breathe there. And then exhale to return. Good. Hands to your hips, friends. Start with a nice little hip circle. Keep your feet grounded. So we want to avoid the feet sort of spilling open from side to side. Ground through your feet and try to roll your pelvis on the legs. Nice and smooth. Good. And we'll go the other way. Circles are so good for the body. Just so good to help open the tissue, mobilize. You got it. And then from here, we're going to bring our hands to our rib cage. And from the ribs, I want you to think about the ribs, first of all, going up, and then the ribs coming back down. And you can think of it like an accordion. Is the ribs opening up, like a fan opening, and the exhale, the ribs close. So it's not so much from the hips, it's not coming from the head, although the head and the neck will gently follow because the ribs, of course, inform what the upper back is doing. So as you feel that movement, your fingers can help assist. We're opening the ribs, let the ribs lift open like a fan to the sky. Exhale, the ribs close. Good, you guys. Now just come back to that center place. And I want you to think of the ribs now shifting side to side. It's not the hips, it's the ribs. So think of sliding them or moving them from side to side, the rib cage. Can you feel that? There's going to be a lot of pull perhaps into the back area where these ribs get kind of stuck and tight into the low back. So just move gently, move mindfully. Lovely. Now we're going to bring our hands up and behind the back of the head, okay? Bring your elbows nice and wide. As you inhale, lift your breastbone up. So we have the ribs lifting, but we're also mindfully lifting the upper spine. The shoulders stay down and your eyes are looking just a little bit up, so where the wall and the ceiling meet. Now as you exhale, let's reverse that. Let the chin come down. Let that upper back flex. There's the ribs closing. So just that much again. Inhale, lift the rib cage. Let the breastbone lead the way up, shoulders plugged down. Exhale, the head is supported. Try not to pull. The arms and elbows are wide. Again, inhale. Feel that it's the rib cage. Lifting, lifting, opening. Go to a place that's comfortable for you. Don't overdo it. Exhaling, this is our last one. Those ribs are closing. Now, friends, just come back to your center. Here's our balanced center point. We're going to make a full circle. So I'd like you to start with your side bend. Good. Now we're going front. Exhale. I'd like you to bend your knees. Let those ribs fold a little bit down. Roll over to your second side. And as you come up, lift the chest and breastbone. Look up. Exhale over to the side. Bend your knees. You can let the spine round a little bit as you go through center. As you inhale, lift your chest. Beautiful. One more time this direction. Exhale, side through the front. As you inhale, lengthen and lift up. Now just pause here. Ready the other way. Exhale over. Bend your knees. Roll through that center. Inhale to our second side and lift the breast up. Here we go. Over. Bend your knees. Try to make this feel supple and gentle in a way that feels good in your body. So be mindful, moving through our circular pattern in a way that feels good. Come to the top, pause here, maybe look up a little more if it's there for you. Shoulders are plugged down, and then exhale, just release your arms and rest for a moment. Beautiful, and just let those arms go. Nice, well done. All right, friends, sorry, my hair is all stuck in my glasses. There we go. The joy of needing glasses. Hello, 50s, yes. Okay. So just the arms now, friends. We're going to move the arms and the shoulder blades. And you're going to notice how, again, this affects the upper back. So we're letting the arm bones turn in and the arm bones turn open. In and open. Rotation in, rotation out. Now bending the knees as you come in, right? So we find that little bit of supple round back. The head doesn't need to go too low. What we want to feel is the shoulder blades widening and the shoulder blades coming back together. There's the rib cage closing and lifting. Take a few more and find your breath for me. Last two. And last one. And inhale. Nice. Lovely. All right, beautiful. Let's bring the legs into this picture a little bit. So what I'd like you to do is take your right leg, find your balance on top of it. So shift your weight to stand nice and firm onto that stable right side. Your glutes are working nice and strong, hands to hips, and your left toes can just be touching the floor nice and light. From here, we're going to find a little external and internal rotation. So I'm allowing my leg bone to rotate in the hip joint. I still have my toes on the floor, so I've got a little balance point. I want you to not rely on that. So squeeze into your standing hip. There you go. For 3, 2, and 1, and bring that down. Good. Shift your weight to your new side. Stabilize from your hip. Find that centering. Your core pulls in. We feel that midline right up and tall through the crown of the head. And then start, when you're ready, your rotations. We want to try to keep everything else as steady as possible. Remember your breath, friends. In through your nose, out through your mouth, like you're blowing through a straw. And as you exhale that way, you'll feel a deeper connection into the low abdomen, that closure of the rib cage, more core, more abdominal muscles. Good, last one. And then bring that down. Lovely. Now we're going to put a couple of these things together. So as I step forward with my right leg, my right arm comes forward. As I step back with my right leg, my right arm comes back. So we're just putting together this internal and external rotation. You're going to breathe out when you come forward. Breathe in as you go back. Now a little bit of vestibular stimulation, meaning the brain, the eyes, the inner ear. You're going to look, if you're comfortable, friends, down and over your shoulder. So getting the eyes to move stimulates a little more response in that inner ear and our vestibular system, which we need for balance. And I'm just pivoting around my stable leg. Now you can make these a little bigger, or you can keep them small. I want you to try for 4 more. So find that internal rotation, arm and leg, and then opposite pattern behind you. Last one. And then come back to center and pause. Bring your hands together, bring your hands in front of you, shoulders back, and just look towards your fingertips here gently and settle your center. Breathe. One more. And release. Ready for our second side? So you're pivoting now around one leg. We're going to be moving our left leg internal rotation, left arm internal rotation, tummy in. As you go back, we find the opposite 2 patterns. And there's this natural coupling of spinal flexion as we come forward and spinal extension as we go back. Where's the breath? Pivoting around that stable right leg. So it has to be able to rotate as well. The pelvis on top of it. Very interesting. You don't think of that, but that stable leg is working as well. Now, how about those eyes? You can look down and then look back over that back shoulder. My arm is kind of doing a figure of 8. You feel that? Let's go for 4. You can make them bigger. You can keep them smaller. Challenge that system, but be in a place that you feel safe. Last one. And then friends, just step back forward To calm our central system, bring your hands again together. Just hold them out in front of you somewhere softly. Find your core line. Look towards your fingertips and just take a couple of calming breaths here. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Last time, big breath in and exhale. You can release your hands. Beautiful. And just turn your palms open. Lovely, everybody. Inhale, reach up. As you lift up, let your chest lift, let the breastbone lift, let your eyes lift. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center. From here, release your arms, take a breath, and roll down. So we're taking the head first. There's those ribs softening, the knees soften. You're in a gently rounded form as you bring your fingers to the earth and let your head go completely. Take a breath and just roll back up to standing, finding your center. So pressing through the legs, thinking about that middle line, feeling the core, feeling the stacking of the hips, the ribs, the shoulders, the head. Let's do this twice again. So inhale, reach up, lift up, stretch up. As you exhale, bring the hands down through center. Let them release towards your hips. Take a breath. Start your journey on the next exhalation. Chin towards your chest. Bend your knees. Think of those ribs flexing or rolling forward and down. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, we push away from the floor. Find that balance between the right and left leg. Feel your core drawing in. Realign your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, your head. Beautiful. One more time. Big breath. Inhale. Stretch up, lift up. Exhale, hands through your heart center. Release them to your hips. Take a breath. Think of that wave going down from the top of the head. Bend your knees. The spine is gently rounded here as we release all the way over the thighs. Now, friends, just stay here. I want your hands to touch the earth. So if they're not, bend your knees deeper. If you can easily touch the earth, maybe straighten your legs a little bit. So wherever you're at with this, drop your head a bit more. So tuck your chin in. And then just simply shift your weight a little bit front to back. So you're going to feel a little more stretch in the hamstrings, maybe a little bit more weight in your heels, and then shift a little bit side to side. So I'm just allowing my body to just kind of sway over my center here, nice and easy. Notice what you notice. And then pause in the middle. Let's take 3 breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. As you exhale, pull those abdominals in. Breathe deep into your back. Exhale through your mouth. Feeling that core pulling up and in. One more time. And on this exhale, bend your knees. Start to roll up on your next breath. Bringing again the weight back centered over the balanced feet. Stack your pelvis, stack the ribs, shoulders, and head. Beautiful, you guys. Very nice. Okay, separate your feet just a little bit. We're going to come down to the mat, but I just want to get your hips to move a little bit more, side to side. Good. Side to side, kind of like you're just doing a little bump. Good. Now bring your feet right together and try the same thing. They're not going to go very far, are they? In fact, I feel like I can hardly go to my right at all. So find about a hip width distance and now explore that. So changing our base, you'll notice how that changes your hip possibilities, the movement there. Good. Now let's go ahead and find our figure of eights. So figure of eights, again, I'm going to stand about hip width apart. I think that's probably best. Right hip back, thinking of turning the pelvis over the legs. And then bring that right hip forward. Let your left hip come back. Left hip comes forward, right hip back. You want to keep your shoulders steady. So I'm not moving from up here. I'm trying to draw this figure of 8 from my pelvis, my lumbar spine, my hips. It's tricky, right? Keep breathing. Thinking of that figure of 8 in your mind's eye, maybe draw it like I am with your finger to help the body, brain, mind, put it all together. Good. Let's go reverse. So start your direction in the opposite way. So it's important we challenge the brain to not always go in the same patterns that we're used to going in. Let's take 4 more. Good. 3. Keep breathing. Taking that figure 8 behind you. 2. And last one. Nice. And then just go back to your hip bumps. That'll probably feel really easy now. Nice, you guys, and shake it all out. Okay, we're going to move down to the mat, to the floor. So I'm going to pull my camera a little closer. You're going to want to have a pillow to sit on or to have for your head. And we're going to start on your back. So go ahead and come down onto your back. You can bend your knees. Good. And if you wish to have something underneath your head for a little bit of comfort, have just a rolled up towel or a small pillow. Some things we do, I don't want anything under your head if we're rolling all the way up to the shoulders, for example. So I'll direct you if we need to remove that pillow at some points, yes? But you can start with it there if you like, so you're comfortable. And what I mean by comfortable is your chin should not be sticking up way out behind you, looking behind your head to the back wall. You want to think of bringing the chin softly down and aligning again your shoulders and your ears in a nice balanced line. Your throat is open, but you're not overextending. Feel your hips. Let the back of your pelvis settle onto the floor, and think of your ribs also settling here onto the floor. So there's a sense of letting the weight of your bones be supported, but you're not flattening your low back. So do you feel that? You're not trying to push your low back into the ground. Now you guys go ahead and bring your hands to your bottom rib and top hip. So I've got my thumb on my bottom ribs and my middle finger on the front of my pelvis. You feel that bony hip joint. Just hold or touch lightly those 2 points. Now everybody take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale through your mouth, feel your abdominals gathering in and imagine you're zipping up a zipper. And as you zip up that zipper, your thumb and finger will feel like it comes a little bit closer together because the ribs move slightly down. Inhale through your nose. Feel that expansion of the ribs. You feel your thumb move. Exhale through the mouth. Feel the abdominal wall gather in. So it's a sense of scooping almost, those deep core muscles inside. Now this time, you guys, we're going to do the same, but lift a leg. So take a breath. As you exhale, start with your breath out through the mouth, nice and steady, and then lift one leg without tipping or shifting. Inhale to lower that foot to the floor. As you exhale, gather your core and lift your second foot up. Inhale down. So each time we move, we want to start with the breath and that abdominal wall contraction or that gathering in. We want to maintain that nice and steady as we slowly lower. So as you continue with these, imagine if you had a teacup resting right on your belly button. I don't want that teacup to spill. So we want to keep it level We want to keep our tone of our abdominals in, not pushing out. And almost like a little baby hollowing up and in through those muscles. Moving gently, lifting and lowering without spilling your tea. Let's do one more. Good. Now from here, let's go ahead and release the pillow you might have. So just shift that behind you. Place your arms down beside you and press your arms nice and firm into the floor. We're going to roll our hips up. So take a deep breath. As you exhale, feel that closure again of your abdominal muscles, that's scooping in. And then start to lift your hips up, tilting pubic bone to belly button and rolling up from your hips to your shoulders. Now take a breath, rolling back down. So think of those flows we did in standing, and here's the rib cage rolling down the mat. As you find yourself back to neutral, to our balanced, centered place, take a breath. And on the exhale, breathe out through the mouth, tip the pelvis, pubic bone to belly button, roll your hips up. Keep pushing through your feet, keep squeezing through your glutes. Take a breath, and then start your roll down, top of the spine. Feel that movement of the rib cage as it rolls back down to the mat. Let's do it twice more, friends. Take a breath. Exhale. Scoop the abdominals in. Do you feel that? That closure of your ribs, that connection. Take another breath at the top. And as you exhale, you can even make it a little bit more audible. Soften the ribs, soften the spine, but stay with control. That's part of this challenge, right? Is to find a way to be supple, but still strong. So we aren't supple just by letting everything go and falling down. We're moving intentionally, trying to create a bone by bone by bone, or a vertebra by vertebra, or a rib by rib movement. And this time, when you come all the way down, we'll just pause at the bottom and then give your knees a little hug into your body. And you can hold your shins there and take a little circle around your pelvis, so letting your low back get a little massage. And then we'll go the other way. Very nice. Good, everybody. Now go ahead and bring your feet back down, and if you wish, you can bring your pillow again underneath your head. That's fine. We're going to bring our hands behind the head, so make a little soft interlace of your fingers. And instead of your elbows being wide and flat to the floor, I'd like you to angle them up a little bit so they're in the corner view of your eyes, so about a 45-degree position. Can you feel the difference there on your chest and shoulders? When you bring those elbows off the floor, it should feel more comfortable. It should feel like you can draw your arm bones into your body a little bit. That's the feeling I want you to have. Like you can kind of suck your armpits back in towards your body. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, start to lift your head and shoulders. So we're doing this little baby curl, looking forward through the knees. You stay for a breath, and then exhale down slowly. Inhale at the bottom. As we begin, exhale first through those pursed lips. Let your chin move towards the chest, but then start to get those ribs to roll. Breathe again. And exhale back down with control. Twice more. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. Think of those ribs now, friends, rolling down. Rib cage rolling down the front body. Breathe again. And exhale as you slowly return. Again, mindful not to pull the head. It comes along for the journey in a nice, neutral way. Eyes look forward. Take a breath at the top, and then exhale and slowly down. Good, little warm up there for our upper abdominals. Now again, you can keep the pillow there. I'd like you to bring your hands just up over your shoulders. Good. And let's take 4 arm circles. So hopefully you've got room here, everybody. I need you to take the arms back over your head and then circle them all the way around 4 times. So as you stretch and open up through that armpit, side rib, body, breathe in. It's like what we did when we were standing with that beautiful big stretch up. Just notice if you do this, if your low back pops way up or if your ribs pop way up. We want to try to keep the ribs down, settled. Let's go the other way with our circles. Notice how this feels. Big arm circle up over your head. Exhale back to the floor. Again, inhale, big circle around your body. As you breathe out, feel the tone of the belly. 2 to go. So trying to always stay mindful of our center, our deep core muscles, our abdominal wall, as we move through the movements, through the exercises. Good. Now this time, bring your arms all the way around, bring them back up over your shoulders and keep them in the air with those shoulders nice and heavy on the ground. Good. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, find a little pelvic tilt. So we're not lifting the hips, I'm just taking a little baby pelvic tilt, pubic bone towards navel, abdominals gathered right inside. And I'm going to lift my right leg and then also my left leg. So 2 legs in the air, mindful connection to your core. This is called dead bug, kind of a terrible name, I know. We call it also just opposite arm and leg taps. So take a breath. And as you start your movement, it begins with the exhale. And then tap 1 foot down like we did before and reach 1 arm back. Inhale, pull everything back towards your center. Take a breath. On the exhale, slowly connect the core first. Tap 1 foot, opposite leg back. Opposite arm, pardon me. Inhale to come up. You knew what I meant. So we move mindfully. We always start with our core, our center. And friends, if you feel this is too much load for today, then put your arms back down beside you and just work with the leg 1 at a time from here, because this is heavier than we did earlier. And there's no worries if you don't feel that this is where you're at. Absolutely none. You can put 2 limbs back down and build up, okay? Let's take 4 more. So breathing out, that's our connection to our deep core. Again, we've got to find that center before we start moving. So feel that scooping, like you're zipping up a zipper. The ribs are gently closing. Good, last 2. Really move with intention. Last 1. There's no point doing them crummy. Crummy, repeated, just teaches us to be crummy. So do them with intention. Stay strong. Beautiful. And then just bring your knees in, give a little hug. And like we did before, you can take a little circle. Nice little release around your low back. And go ahead and circle the hips and the low spine the other way. Very good. All right, beautiful, everybody. Go ahead and put your feet back down. And again, staying with that pillow under the head. Keep your left foot where it is. Bring your right leg up. And I'm just going to hold behind my right hamstring. And I'm going to stretch my right toes up to the sky. So a little hamstring stretch. And then bend the knee back down and repeat. Exhale up and inhale down. Nice. 2 more times. Exhale up. Good. Inhale down. 1 more. Exhale up. Now stay here. I've got sock fuzzies on my toes. Okay, so stay here. Good. And I'd like you to release your hands. So place those hands back down beside you. So deep stomach wall is holding my center so I can stretch strong that quadricep and leg to the sky. Now, friends, we're making a small circle with this leg. Imagine your toe is a pencil and you're going to draw a circle on the ceiling. We begin on an inhale. Don't go too big. Exhale. Bring it back in. Inhale and exhale. Now, if you need to bend your knee, please do. It's okay. Otherwise, we're working with a straight leg as much as we can. This last one will come through and pause. Now take your circles the other way. Breathing in, breathing out. Focus on your center. This exercise is a surprisingly challenging core exercise because, again, we don't want your teacup to move. 2 to go. How's your breath? Last one. Good. Now, friends, flex your foot and point your toes 5 times. Flex and point. Flex and point. Good. Flex and point. Flex and point. One more time. Flex and point. Now flex and hold. Heel to the sky like you're trying to stand on the ceiling. Beautiful. Take a big breath. Slowly we go down. And I mean slow. Take your time. So control this from your core. From your core. Make the connection from deep in the stomach. Good. When you're almost down, don't touch. Point your toes and come back up. Twice again. Exhale. Slowly. Keep drawing the abdominals in. We need these hip flexors to also be strong. They're holding us as they lengthen. It's important that they're working. Inhale up. One more time. So if you feel some work in the front of your leg, in the front of your hip or groin, that's normal, that's okay. Try to also get nice and deep into your abdominals. This is our last one, so when you're almost down, don't rest yet, but go all the way to the floor, all the way to the floor. And once you arrive down, you can then feel free just to rest that leg. Stretch your left leg out beside it and notice how they feel, the difference between them. What do you feel? Okay, and then bend your knees. And before we do our left side, I'm going to have my feet as wide as my mat and my arms open now like a nice T. And we're just going to do some windshield wipers. So you can let your legs turn from side to side. Hips are turning as well. And notice how your right leg moves and feels compared to your left. Okay, we haven't done all of those nice stretches and circles in our left hip yet. And holy moly, does it ever feel different compared to my right that just feels much more supple. So next time you come back to center, bring yourself back in so your feet are parallel and bring your arms down for a moment. Just take a deep breath with me in through the nose and out through the mouth, connecting with your core. Then lift your left leg to tabletop, hands behind the thigh, and on your next exhale, stretch your toes up to the sky. Inhale, bend your knee, and exhale, stretch it up. Inhale, bend, and exhale, stretch. Inhale, bend, and exhale, stretch. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to bend, exhale to stretch and hold. Take a breath, connect your core and lower your hands down beside you. So you've got to use those deep stomach muscles to help hold the leg. And I'd like it to be, if you can, just straight up over your hips. So doesn't need to be any closer, just straight up if possible. Bend your knee if you need to. We're making our circles. So my little toe pencil is going to go across my body, down and around, and back to center. Inhale, across and down. Exhale, around. You're going to want to find your inner leg here, that center line of your leg, as you bring it back in. Breathing out. Feel the deep core. Feel that inner thigh. Good. One more. Feel the steady pelvis. Let's go the other way. 5 circles in the opposite direction. Breathing in, breathing out. Keeping your chin a little bit down. So again, careful the neck isn't overextended. That's why that pillow is so nice to have when we're laying supine. 2 more. Teacup isn't wiggling. No spills. Last one. From here, flex your ankle, point your toes. Flex and point. So get that movement now through the calf a little more, through the ankle joint. You're going to feel different stretch. You got it. Now this time we'll hold that heel high, take a breath, and here's us just lowering the leg mindfully, moving from your center. Go slowly. Take it down as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe it doesn't go as low as mine, that's no problem. And point your toes, connect with your core, and lift your leg from your center. Exhale, heel leads the way down. Abdominals pulled in, nice and strong. Good, point your toes to pull back up. Beautiful, everybody. Just working nice and mindful here. We want to have, again, that sense of where is your center. Try to draw your leg bone right back up into your center and hold steady from that deep core. The belly is not pushing out, right? It's not protruding or pushing out. Think of gathering it inside. Gathering it inside. This is our last one. Take your time. Take your time. When you're almost there, and then all the way down, and rest the leg. And then just stretch out your right leg as well. Notice how both legs feel. Let's bend the knees, go back to your open arms and our windshield wipers side to side. And just notice if now that left leg feels more free to do as the right is doing. Hopefully a little more balance, a little more ease, but still with that awareness of our core, yeah? Beautiful, let's take one more each way. And then keep your knees nice and wide, but go ahead and bring them in again. And this time, put your hands on the inside of your knees and let your legs fall out away from center. So I'm keeping my knees bent, my feet apart, and I'm opening through my legs. Just letting my hands kind of press gently on the inside of my thighs, my knees. And let's circle our ankles. And as you breathe here, friends, try to let your breath go all the way to the pelvic floor. So I want you to breathe right down to your sitting bones, right down to the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, feel that lift back up and in from there. Keep circling, just reverse those circles a few times and take another breath. And then as you exhale, let's close the legs. Good. Now we're going to do a little rock. Some of you might not want to rock on your spine, and that's okay. You can just roll over to your side. Otherwise, you can start to play a little bit here with just rocking along your spine like a little ball. And that's really what we want to feel we're doing here, is becoming circular like a little ball. When you're ready, we're gonna come all the way up. So if you're not rocking with me, just roll to your side and come on up. Nice. Okay, everybody, we're gonna flip right over to hands and knees, so take a moment. I got these new fuzzy socks for Christmas, and they're so fuzzy. I have fuzzies everywhere. You know the ones that you get every year? They're so nice to have. Fuzzy, warm inside socks. And they're just leaving fuzzies all over the place. Anyway, that's just a little me being silly. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and we want to stack those bones nice and balanced. So what I mean by that is try not to be tucking under in your bottom, but find a nice long spine where your sitting bones are reaching straight back. Your collarbones are wide across your chest. Tuck your chin in a little bit so we feel that length of the back of the neck, and then find those deep abdominal muscles holding or gathered in. So I'm not rounding my spine, but I'm not letting this just sink or be concave. Shoulders are plugged into the back. This is our opposite arm and leg. So take a breath. Remember, we start with the exhale, and then we start our movement. Opposite arm and leg extension. Hold and breathe. And slowly back down like they're on train tracks, coming straight back under. Take a breath. Start with the exhale. Breathing out through the mouth. Feel that lift and tone of the belly. Breathe again. And exhale down. Soon as you start extending the leg, typically what happens is the low back will sag. So as you start moving that back limb, you want to pull your abdominals in even more, because the weight of that thigh bone will pull into your low back. That's why you feel perhaps a little bit of strain there. So recognize the bone is heavy. The mass is heavy back there. Good. We've got to use our core. And we've got to use our glutes. So squeeze your bottom as you extend that hip. Now you can move here on every breath if you're ready, or you can keep it slow and take those extra prep breaths in between. I'll leave that up to you. Regardless, it's not a race. Your teacup is now resting on the back of your spine. Right, on your sacrum. So is it wiggling? Hopefully not. It might be trickier on one side movement to keep that pelvis steady than the other. Again, we all have these imbalances. We all have our past injuries, our life's experiences, whatever it might be. Nobody's perfect, nobody's symmetrical. So notice what you notice. Where is it easy? Where is it hard? Good, this is our last one. We'll bring that down. Go ahead and widen your knees. Take your arms in front and allow your hips to sink back. Beautiful. You can stretch your arms and bring your forehead to the mat or to your pillow. Just place that under your head. I'm keeping my arms extended here, and I'm working to open the line of pull from my ribs to my armpits to my elbow, to my wrists, to my fingers. So if you can, friends, make that an active lengthening. Breathe into that area. Breathe deep. And as you exhale, maybe you can soften your upper back just a little bit more. Let's take 2 more breaths. One more time. And then we're going to come forward again. So just give yourself a nice little ripple forward. Good. All right. We're gonna come in a moment right down onto our tummies and do some work for our back. Before we get there, I'd like us to do a little bit of stretching for the hips to help us be successful there. So we're gonna come into a little lunge. If you've got yoga blocks that you want to have for your hands, you can have something beside you, on either side of your foot, or you could use a footstool to put your hands on, or a chair if you have something like that. Otherwise, the hands get to the floor, one leg is in front and one knee is back, okay? So if you need to put a little pillow under your knee, if you need to roll up a towel, you could use something like what I've got, which is just a little small pillow. So back knee is down, front knee is bent, and I've got my hands on something. There you go. Now friends, the movement here is going to have us moving forward any amount more as you breathe in. So let your hips move forward. Think of your chest also moving forward. And as you breathe out, you're going to shift your hips back and pull your toes up. Let your head go down. As you come forward, put the foot down, inhale, pull your chest forward, let your hips move. As you exhale, hips back, toes up. I'd like you to do 3 or 4 more. Move with your breath. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Last one, we'll come inhale forward and we'll pause. Good. Now friends, bring your hands off of the floor one at a time to that front thigh and bring yourself up. Stand your weight back a little more towards your back foot. So instead of hanging here in the front, come a little more vertical. Yeah, lovely. And then try to make a pelvic tilt, bringing pubic bone to belly button. So there's that posterior tilt. We've got to use our abdominals and use your glutes. Good. Now you can bring that same arm up. Bend the elbow, place the hand behind your head. And as we did at the beginning of class, if it's comfortable, you're going to take your chest and ribs up. Inhale. Let your head be back in the hands supported. Keep drawing your tummy in. Use those glutes. Lift your breastbone any amount it feels available. Breathe. And then as you exhale, let your eye line back to center and release the hand. Good. Coming down to the floor, both hands. Bring that front foot back. Remove any pillow you might have for a second. And take your hips through some circles. Hips and spine. Side to side, beautiful. So again, moving through the hip socket. Letting the ribs move and side bend. Go the other way. Good, one more time, and then we're going to switch our front foot position back into this lunge. Okay, so if you need your pillow, go ahead now and place that under your new back knee, and the front foot comes forward, and we bend into that front leg so our hands can come to something. The ground, or 2 yoga blocks perhaps, or a chair, okay? The chair is fine. When we start moving, it's not going to be so great, but you could decide if you want to just stay in that position. So just notice what you feel here for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. Notice that front foot. Are you rolling to the outside of the foot, or can you keep some weight into your big toe base and that center line? You ready to start some movement? So take a breath in as you Let your hips go down a little farther. I know it can be difficult. You think you're already there, but maybe there's a little more. Chest up. As you exhale, take your hips back and pull your toes up. Let the head go down. Inhale, bend the knee, glide forward, pull your heart up. Exhale, take the hips back, head down, toes up. Again, you can take these in your own rhythm. Do try to follow your breath. For 3 more, please. Inhaling forward and up. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward and up. Exhaling back. One more time. Inhaling forward and up. Pause here. Bring your hands to your front thigh. As you exhale, draw your tummy in and come back to a more vertical position. Put the hands on the hips for a moment and try to tilt your pelvis into that posterior tilt. It's like a bucket. You want to roll that bucket so it's spilling out the back. Okay? Not out the front. Other way. Good. Same hand, so back leg, back arm can reach up for a moment. Good, then bring both hands behind the head. Snuggle your head back into your palms. Keep scooping your tummy in, and then start to lift your breastbone. Remember those ribs? It's not the low back, it's the rib cage. The rib cage is rolling up. The shoulder blades are plugging down. The head is supported and pressing back into your hands. Can you feel your core still working, please? Take a breath. One more. And then bring your eye line back to center. Release your hands. Good. Bring your hands down. Release the leg. Nice, everybody. You can release that pillow. Good. And then go through a nice little cat circle. So what I mean by that is we're going to round the spine and extend it as we do those hip full circles. So I've got movement of my spine going up and down through that wave as I'm also allowing my hips to go side to side. And then reverse. Coming forward, your tummy's pulled in, you're round, going back, the hips go back, and chest gets long. Try one more. Nice. Okay, friends. So our last little bit of strength work is going to come right down to your tummy. And we're just going to do one exercise for your upper back. And you're doing so well. We're almost there, almost there. So you might want to have a pillow under your forehead. Okay, just something to support the neck so your head again feels balanced and centered, and you're not with your chin tucked way in or your neck feeling smushed. So the idea is just to balance your neck more neutral. And then bring your elbows beside you like little wings, yeah? Shoulders are back. This is just a cobra pose. So we've been practicing it in different ways, but now the hands will give you a tiny bit of balance and support. Take a breath. As you exhale, feel that abdominal connection first, pulling inward, and then start to reach your chest forward. So here's the ribs rolling up the front. Now you don't want to really push with your hands, but they're there for a little bit of balance. The idea is the collarbones are wide, shoulders are back. And then go ahead and release those ribs back to the mat. So see if you can really think of it in terms of that segmental movement. Joint by joint by joint. Not one piece, but many small, beautiful bones moving through the upper spine and back down. You take a couple more. Core is drawn in. Abdominals are continuing to support you. Breathe again at the top. And exhale, release. And our last one, a breath to prepare. And exhale to gather and lengthen at the same time. Core supports you. Rest is reaching. Take another breath. And exhale down. Well done. You can use your hands a little closer by your ribs. We're going to press up to our knees. Hips go back. And let's find just a sweet little child's pose here to finish. You can bring a pillow under your head if you like. If it's not comfortable in your knees, you could put a pillow between your heels and your bottom. You could stack your fists as I am to make a little lifted place for your forehead to rest. And we're just going to breathe into the back body. So try to soften a little bit here. Let the neck be relaxed. Find a position that feels that it can be relaxed in. Send your breath into the back spine and the sides of the ribs. So can you see in your mind's eye the rib cage opening like an accordion, left to right, and closing on the exhales. Let's take 2 more breaths here together. One more. Wonderful. Bring your hands in front, ripple up over your feet. Lovely. Take a big breath in, reach up. Hands together, look up. Exhale, hands down to your heart center. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. Inhale, reach up. Lift the chest, stretch the arms, look up. Exhale, hands down to your heart center, shoulders relaxed. Lifted chest, just bow your head softly towards your fingers, maybe close your eyes, take a moment. Let's set an intention for 2023. How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to move in your body? Envision that now, think of that now. Make that dedication to yourself for this year. I'm here to support you in any way I can. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Let's have a wonderful year. Oh, all those things. So